All right, so I recently got an email from someone at the Starking Amazon store, and they were asking me if I wanted to review one of their watches, and I did want to review one of their watches. Actually, Starking is one of the three Chinese brands that I was most interested in, alongside Guanqin and Cadison, and I've already gotten some of their watches and checked them out and reviewed them here on the channel, so you guys can go back and check those reviews out. But Starking is the third one, third Chinese brand that I was really interested in, hadn't gotten around to yet. I think the most unique thing about them is that they make their own movements, and so they're basically doing in-house. You could consider it an in-house automatic movement, and they're high beat movements, so they're a little bit different beast than the typical movements that you find in other watches. So that's what's kind of interesting. That, and they're, again, just like these other Chinese brands, they're putting out a really incredible product at a really affordable price. And so, yeah, so I'm really excited to check this watch out, take a look at it, give you guys a good review. One other thing I want to do at the end of this video, I'm going to try this watch on and, try and figure out what kind of outfits I would wear something like this with. This watch comes in a lot of different colors. I actually asked for the blue and gold one, which is a lot flashier than I generally wear. It's a little bit outside of my watch comfort zone. Typically, I prefer more traditional colors, but I really like these kind of blue and gold color scheme, and so I'm glad I got to get one of these in to review it. So I'm going to try and figure out like what a good outfit this would look good with, and maybe that'll help you guys as well if you're considering a blue and gold watch. If you don't like blue and gold, again, they have a lot of different colors to choose from, but I thought this would be kind of a fun one to look at. So let's get into the review. Yeah, so special thanks to Starking for sending this watch out for review. I'll put a link to their Amazon store down below where you guys can pick this up if you are interested in it. And the fact that they have an Amazon store, I think, is one of the biggest distinguishing factors between them and the other Chinese watches that I've looked at. Cadison and Guanqin, to get the best deals, you have to go to AliExpress or GearBest, and both those are going to be shipping direct from China. So you're talking about having long wait times for your shipping. If you have any customer service or returns, you have to deal with international shipping to return it back to them, and just a little bit of delay with their email responses because of the time differences and things. However, the fact that you can buy a Starking watch on Amazon with Amazon Prime and have it shipped to you within 2 days, and then if you do need to return it, if there's any problem with it, Amazon makes returns really easy. I mean, Amazon has their customer service down, so that's really exciting that you can pick this up for $50, around the same price as a Guanqin or a Cadison, and then get it, get all of Amazon's order fulfillment behind it. That to me is, if you've been hesitant to buy any of the other ones because of the fact that you have to order them from China and you don't want to deal with the international hassles that can come out from that, the long wait times, this might be a good one for you to check out. So Starking as a whole, recently they've been getting more popular among some of the different watch channels out there, and actually one of the first channels to find them was Shane over at Relative Time, and he's reviewed a few of their pieces. He's reviewed the AM0276, which is very similar to this one, but maybe a little bit simpler design. I'll put a link to that video review below if you guys want to check that one out and see maybe a slightly different version of this. But if you haven't seen his channel yet, he's got a great channel, and I always like his videos. But let's go ahead and get this review going, and let's talk about the Starking AM0273. So this, we'll talk about the specifications first. It's a little bit on the larger side. This is a 42 millimeter diameter case. So, for a dress watch, it's pretty large, and it does wear kind of large. It's got a pretty large dial. If you have a larger wrist, I think you can totally get away with using this as a dress watch. There's some other features on it as we'll go through the review. Maybe it's not like a super formal piece. It's, got some more casual, fun things going on too. But in some ways that, with this color scheme, that works. It's actually impressively thin. It's only 11 millimeters thick, which for an automatic watch, especially in this price range, is great. So I was really impressed at how thin the watch was. Something I think you could, get away with it slipping under a cuff, no problem. Has a 20 millimeter strap, again, great standard size there. It's a genuine leather, blue embossed crocodile pattern strap. Another amazing feature, it's got a sapphire crystal. So I think for a dress watch, that's amazing. Once you get scratches on your crystal on a dress watch, to me, that really reduces its look a lot, and I'd be much less inclined to wear one. So having a sapphire crystal on a dress watch, again at $50, is just really impressive. And this one also has 50 meters of water resistance. So again, they're kind of going above and beyond in so many ways here. Even dress watches from major brands, even luxury brands, are often going to be 30 meters of water resistance. And if you fall in a pool with them or something, it's questionable whether or not they're going to survive. But this one with 50 meters, you should technically be able to swim with it. So great set of specifications on it. Probably the standout feature though, and the most interesting thing about it, is the movement inside it. So Starking, they actually make their own movements, and the movement in this watch and in most of their watches is a high beat automatic movement. High beat, referring to the beat rate, or basically the amount of times that the watch ticks per second. So this one, it's at a higher rate than your typical automatics, which mostly what that's going to mean is it's going to make the second hand is going to sweep more smoothly, and you can see that in these pictures. It just sweeps so smoothly, and it's something that if you've had other automatic watches, or especially quartz watches, you're really going to notice the difference there. It's kind of a mesmerizing thing. Other than that, it's interesting from like a watch collecting perspective. Typically you're not going to find a high beat movement anywhere close to this price range. So if you're interested in the technical side of watches, and if you're interested in getting different kinds of watches into your collection, this is a really cool chance to get a different kind of movement. You're getting a Chinese movement. It's an in-house movement. And from that standpoint, there's a lot of interesting things about it. Not to mention, it's also just a really pretty movement as well. If you look at it's got a nice exhibition case back, and you can look in and see it. It's one of the nicest looking movements I've seen, and you can really see a lot moving and working, and the gears moving and stuff, more so than some of the Seiko movements and things, which tend to be more, I think, utilitarian. But this one is actually a really pretty movement there too. So from that standpoint, if you're interested in mechanical movements, this is a very interesting mechanical movement. It's a very pretty mechanical movement, and definitely a cool high point of it there. The design of the watch is actually a lot more elegant than I expected. Again, I saw this kind of online and saw the pictures, and I thought it was going to be a pretty flashy piece with the blue and the gold, because it's a pretty bold color scheme. And then you'll notice this one has some red accents as well. But when I got in person, the dial especially is kind of a more matte texture, so it's not highly reflective. But it is a sunburst, and it definitely does change colors depending on the angles and lighting. But because it's got that matte texture, it's not really as flashy as I thought it was going to be. It does have a two-tone case, so you get kind of a gold or rose gold bezel, and then a stainless steel colored case for the rest of it, all high polish. The case has some crown guards on the side, which for a dress watch, I don't think you really need those there. It's kind of an interesting choice. On the dial itself, you're getting matching indices that match the color of the bezel, so kind of this rose gold color, same as the hands. And the indices are interesting, so you get a 12 o'clock Arabic numeral, and then for 3, 6, and 9, you're getting this kind of square markers that are kind of made out of little pyramid-shaped things, and then you've got these sort of triangle wedges for all the other ones, so 3 different kinds of indices. And then you get down to the second hand, which really I think is kind of the focal point of this piece. It's a really cool second hand. The hand itself is cool. Again, you've got the high beat movement powering it, so it sweeps very smoothly. It's set into its own subdial, and the subdial has a different texturing than the rest of the watch. It's got these concentric circles, has a gold border around it, and then you have this very legible, very easy to use track going around it, so it's easy to tell how many seconds have elapsed. And then it's got these red accents, so you got a little bit of a red strip and a red 60. So all of that really kind of draws the eye there. And again, with it being a high beat movement, it's kind of cool because it really shows off the smoothness of the sweep. But on the other hand, you might look at this design and think there's a little bit too much going on. That was kind of my thought, is maybe a little too much, maybe a little bit more toned down, a little bit simpler would have been better. My wife actually really liked it though, and she tends to not like super flashy things. So maybe I'm just being overly picky on this one. The hands, again, you get the same gold color, but they have a little bit of a lume strip on it. The lume, I didn't actually get a lume shot because it's not that great, but I think it's actually a little bit better than the Guanqin watch that I reviewed a little while ago. But on a dress watch, I typically don't look for a great lume anyways. More importantly, those white strips actually make the hands stand out a lot more. So it's actually really easy to read in almost any kind of lighting. I think a lot of times if you have all metal hands, sometimes they can sort of disappear if the light doesn't hit them right, but because you've got those white strips on them, it actually makes it really easy to read. One of my favorite things about this watch is in some lighting, the dial itself kind of really looks almost completely black. It almost disappears. But the indices, being the gold and the high polish and being applied like that in the hands, they'll catch the light and really pop out a lot. And I really think it looks cool in those different angles. And so yeah, I found myself really kind of impressed with the way it looked in certain lighting situations. And yeah, it kind of changes depending on how much light you get and the angles that it hit it. So it's really kind of a fun little watch. The strap is decent quality. It's about the same quality as almost all the other embossed crocodile straps I've gotten, so definitely not subpar there. Nothing spectacular. It is a very blue color. That blue strap might actually be the flashiest part of the watch. It really does stand out of having that very bright blue strap on the watch. But again, if you're going for this color scheme, that might be something that you want. But even from the time I requested this watch and waited for it, I started thinking about the situations that I would wear something like this in, and I wasn't sure, is this like something that would be more of like a dress watch, a more formal piece, or is it a more casual piece? And I was trying to think of different outfits I'd wear with. So I went ahead and tried it on with a bunch of different clothes to kind of see how it looks. And yeah, let's go ahead and show that, and I'll give my opinions at the end. So overall, I think I found this to be a lot easier to wear than I thought it would be. I think it's definitely a very visible piece. It's going to be kind of a focal point of your outfit. If you're wearing it, it's something that people will notice and see. It definitely stands out. I think it looks best if you're wearing some blue in your outfit with it, but if you're wearing something that's a little bit more muted, it will really pop and kind of add a nice pop of color and a little bit of accent to what you're wearing. Stand out there. And it doesn't look bad. I think it looks actually pretty good. Again, I'm not sure if it's my personal style, but I could definitely see the appeal of something like this. And I'm really glad that I finally got a chance to try one of these out and get a look at it, because again, I really like the look of the blue and gold. It's just I'm not sure if I can quite pull it off myself, but maybe some of you guys out there can totally rock this. Let me know what you guys think if you guys are interested in this one. Again, if you're trying to choose between Starking and Guanqin and Cadison, Starking has some more subdued pieces too, more classic looking ones. But it looks like they're coming out with these newer designs that they're trying a little bit more things out, and you're getting really interesting designs, I think, from them. It's nice to see them kind of trying to go beyond just the super classic look and try and do something a little bit different. So I appreciate that about them. Again, appreciate them sending this out for review, and if you are interested in it, please check out their Amazon site down below. But that will wrap it up for this one, and we'll talk to you guys later.